In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. I'm just coming in on the butt end of or a middle of a conversation here. Is Jackie, the humble crafter, really calling the James, the old guy in Europe, the wizened? Is that wizened? Maybe he's a wise guy, or he's a wise guy, not a wise guy. I'm going to catch up. I'm going to get some context on this. Good morning to you, Jackie. How are you dealing with our like button this morning? What have you been busy this morning? Reframing, renaming, and reappropriating the like button for your own pleasurable purposes this morning. How are you, Jackie? How are things going? How are your plans? Coach Turner's in, of course. James, an old guy in Europe. Antonio F. Bon dia, todos. And who else has joined us this morning? Please let us know. Either just say hi in the chat, or if you're shy, you could send me a message actually on 913-590-303, which is the number through which we solicit and welcome all manner of comments, images, videos, pictures, whatever you've got that you want to share that celebrates life, living, loving, and laughing here in Portugal. And I use those three words because we've got a comedian joining us today. We have got... Oh, I wish his name was on the screen on the ticker tape at the moment, because then I feel to at least have a go at pronouncing it. Yes, wise, never old. Okay, fair enough. Wise, if you don't mind. And speak up. Oh, we must press the like button or we may disintegrate into a pillar of salt. It's getting serious, everybody. So yeah, make sure you press the like button this morning. I'm not sure if that's in the YouTube and Facebook guidelines, threatening people with a salty finish. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. João Ernesto, bom dia Portugal, and Jean van Groningen, bom dia todos. Nice one, Joan. Good to see you, and great to see you, John. I meant to send you a message, John, to ask you what it's been like post cataract surgery, going to your watercolor class, because you must maybe having access to new levels of intensity of color and vision. What a lovely thing for you as a budding watercolor artist. How's that going, my friend? And yes, I still haven't got his name on the screen, and a ticker tape's a bit of a mess. But then again, you know, what else is new? I'm the sicko. What? What's going on with everybody? Oh, sicko as in, not like in psycho sicko, but somebody who's not very well. Sorry to hear that. Nubinash Melhoras, Miguel. What's going on with you then? I'm taking it from the universal masking sign. They got a touch of the old COVID over there in California. So get well soon. And look who's just arrived, buddy. Bon dia alegria from sunny Saya, just popping in for a bit between work activities. Well, nice one, buddy. How are you doing? What's going on? I bet Saya's nice and warm this morning. Carl Hyde, the Englishman, of course, with a bon dia, and he'll be joining us at around 9:30. Although, I mean, he'll still be joining us around 9:30, but we have a comedian rudely interrupting us this morning. Normally it's a cozy chat, isn't it, about real estate in the capital and in the Algarve, our American in Portugal, Veronica, joining us. Normally around 9 o'clock. Where is she this morning? Where's she gone? I hope she's joining me soon. It's usually a cozy chat between the three of us. This morning, we've got a comedian joining us. Here's his advert for a gig he's doing. And this is a very interesting restaurant I think it's in Sertã, in Central, not far from you, not a million miles away from you, buddy. I think it's Sertã. We'll find out more about it maybe when he joins us. Although I don't know if he knows much about the venue. I think he's just flown in from Texas to be here to do this gig, which is happening this evening.
Hey everyone, Algarve be here. Wanted to invite all of you to a night of unfiltered comedy at Semi Freddy's on July 18th. We'll be doing a comedy night there.
If you like Italian food,
And I'll be bringing my no holds barred comedy to you guys' city. So come one, come all. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you, and let's make it happen, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, Atharvabi Abalyairao. Now, is that a Portuguese name? We're going to find out. I'm a bit worried because he's talking about no holds barred comedy. I tried looking up. I thought it'd be a good idea get a comedian on the show who's playing in Portugal, and we're going to work our way up to some of the biggest names in comedy. And we'll get them on the show because I know we all like our various comedians, don't we? It's a bit like music taste. Not everyone has the same taste in comedy, but I think we all like to have a little bit of a look and a listen and see what's what. And I couldn't find any clips of him last night, so he's got his hip hop soundtrack, somewhat menacing. Come one, come all. And I can't. He calls himself No Holds Barred, and I can't find any of his material. What could possibly go wrong? At about 9:25 this morning, as he joins me and Veronica and Carl on the screen. Right, what's going on here then? In my area, people wore a mask when they had any sort of virus before COVID. It's one of the things we got from Asian countries. No, I understand that, but is that what you've got there, or are you trying to keep away from such influences in your life? Marcus, good morning to you. Bon dia, alegria, from Marcus, and bon dia, Karen, to Nubian. You are unique indeed, but I won't go so far as to call you a sicko. That's right. I mean, that sounds like a terrible put down. And she said it about herself. And he too, wishing you the best. Get well soon. And Ash melhoras, get better to you, Nubianette. Yes, speedy recovery to you if you're struggling and suffering this morning. Yes, it has been a while, says Baddy. I've just had a surgery for carpal tunnel recently on both hands, not at the same time, and been out of commission due to that. Back now in action. Well, it's good to see you, Baddy. Thank you for being here. And what's that, Antonio F? People didn't do that here, but became more common now. That's a very wise act. Yeah, I'm seeing a few more masks around the place. It's some sort of flu, off and on fevers, but the cozy, sleepy type. Hee. Ooh, this actually sounds quite nice, doesn't it? Not the fevers, but the cozy sleepiness. Although who doesn't like a fever first thing? Well, I love fever, not a sick fever. I like that. So yeah, definitely get well soon, Nubianette. And bon dia, Gumpers y Feliz Quinta. Let's do this while we're waiting for Veronica this morning. Oh, a shout out to the men's shed fellas last night. I had my bike serviced. Not a euphemism. It was fantastic. The men's shed, I haven't been for a few weeks. Went last night. Here's an image. Look at these pedals. It was bike maintenance last night. Kids today couldn't handle the pain of taking one of these bad boys to the shin. You remember that? When you used to get scratch on the shin with one of those? It was the men's shed last night, every 2 weeks. The first and third, actually, if you're in the Silver Coast area and you'd like to come and join the San Martino de Porto men's shed, where we're talking about making a book library. You bring a book, you take a book, and it's a little box, like a little mini phone box almost. Actually, in the UK, some people use phone boxes for such a public library, and we're making one. And we had a great time. We talked about that in the second hour. In the first hour, Rick, thank you for servicing my bike. I owe you a pint. It was lovely. Men messing about. We were like a biker gang. The president came by, plugged in his electric car, and can you imagine that could have been a bit of a standoff? New and old meet bicycles, old low tech, old school technology versus the very latest in electronic vehicles. But the president, it actually turns out he's the nephew of one of the men in the men's shed. So all was well. Great evening, really good fun. I urge you, if you're a fella. Actually, women are welcome, but it's kind of it's non-gender specific, but it's quite manly, if you see what I mean. And last night's subject was bike maintenance, so I had me chain. I got lubricated and greased last night. Very, very good. Rick, a bit of a dab hand with that sort of stuff, a bit of a biker himself, and we had great fun in the fading sunlight of last evening, and then a couple of beers in the local bar as well. Really nice evening. So shout out to all the men's shedders here in San Martino de Porto. Coach Turner, you'd be a great addition. Bon dia, Gumpers y Feliz Quinta. A lovely day in prospect here in Hertfordshire. So yes, Hertfordshire with an E. So a walk this morning and training this afternoon. We have friends coming for dinner tomorrow. So lots of prep later. Ooh, what are you having? What are you prepping Hold on a minute. Oh, shoot, my clock sped up. What? I need 5 more minutes. Okay, fair enough. We'll see you soon. And at least you're coming. That's the main thing. I thought you had forsaken us, Veronica. So, yes, we're looking forward to seeing you soon. I've got a video already from, got Gizmo and a baby frog in the bio pool. Oh, we'll have that in just a minute as well. 10 seconds of Sapo, not Pato, but Sapo. Thank you very much, Marcus. That's very lovely. And I'm a bit confused now. I think I do have a video from Veronica as well. But it's not, for some reason, it's not downloading. I'll come back to that later on. We've got Gizmo and we've got Frog so far on 913-590-303. And we will get through Coach Turner's God's God tip of the day here. Let's load up the dog and the frog onto the screen. Dog and a frog walk into a live stream. What's with the long face? That is true in Gizmo's case. He has got a bit of a long boat race, but he's a sausage dog, and it's only to be expected. Here's a frog.
Okay. Oh, look at him swimming. Oh.
What a little beauty! And I'm not talking about Marcus, because I think Marcus does a bit of the old froggy stroke in the bio pool as well. Thank you, Marcus. Very thoughtful. 913-590-303. I do love to see a baby frog swimming about in the water and hope that there's not a heron hiding in the trees and waiting for his moment there. Anna as well is also with us. How fantastic. Sweden, Portugal. Anna, bon dia todos from a rainy Stockholm. So you're over there at the moment. Let's get back to Coach Turner. Thanks for being here, Anna. Right, Hertfordshire, dinner prep, along with walking. Here we go. The second exercise that will help you to lower your blood pressure is cycling. It's as if we planned this. No, complete coincidence, if you believe in such things. Whether out on a cycle or a static bike, 30 minutes a day will make a difference. I don't understand why people use static bikes. I think you've got one yourself, haven't you, Coach? Why not get out and about, especially here in Portugal? You get on your bike and say hello to people, go to the men's shed, etc., etc. But I guess it's better than nothing. Like with all exercise machinery, you arguably you could be doing things outside, couldn't you? Or on your stairs or on your steps or on your rebounder or whatever, rather than on machines. But better to have a machine than do nothing at all. So there you go. So as with walking, with the old cycling, it should be fast enough to raise the heart rate and breathing. I was thinking about you last night as I was puffing like Billy-O last night to make it more interesting and effective. Add a few 20-second bursts of speed. That's what it was like. Couple of beers, and I think I'm Evel Knievel, and I went for the wheelie movement. You know, when you're mounting a curb, again, not a euphemism, actually going up a curb, and there's no drop curb, there's no convenient drop curb nearby, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go for this. This could go horribly wrong, or I'm going to pull it off with gay aplomb. Who doesn't like to pull it off with gay aplomb first thing in the morning? I know some of you do. Admit it. Add in a few 20-second bursts of speed. Also, don't forget to hydrate. Yeah, and I was successful in my quick kick back and up onto the curb. And I found out a really quick way of getting back from town. I'm actually not going to make that confession right now. But suffice to say, I can get back really quickly. And I did some of those bursts. I was fartlecking on the bike last night. You'll be proud of me, Coach Turner. Thank you very much for that this morning. Have a great dinner party. Have a great day. Bom dia, campus. Feliz quinta todos. Tudo bem? And a mindful moment before we forget. Let's do that while we're waiting for Veronica as well. While you feel compelled to charge forward, it's often a gentle step back that will reveal to you where you and what... Hold on, let me do that again. I got confused towards the end of that sentence by Rashid Ongolaru. I think we've heard from Rashid before. While you feel compelled to charge forward, it's often a gentle step back that will reveal to you where you and what you truly seek. It's probably reveal to you where you are and what you truly seek. Now, I made a little note to self this morning. Me and Mrs. M, we are still going to be doing, as I understand it, The Moment, this new show at 11 o'clock on a weekday, Portugal time, for the new online TV network that is about to be released in the US. And what I'm going to do anyway, until that happens, I think at every 11 o'clock of the Portugal time, is it GMT, same thing? So London and Lisbon on the same timeline, aren't they? I will be at 11 o'clock stopping for a moment and probably doing it online, as it were, and asking the question, where are you right now? Could do a little bit of a momentary, mindful meditation moment, a Munson moment at 11 o'clock until we go live on this TV channel. So I think I might start that this morning. Thank you for that. And I might even, do you know what? I might even use that quote because we'll come in at a different angle every time to find out where we are right now. So where are you right now? I know you're watching the live stream, but where else are you? Worrying about this or that? Are you feeling contented? Are you feeling happy or sneezy? Mindful dad joke interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So you're not a Terminator anymore. Negative. I retired. Now I kill bugs. I am exterminator. Oh dear, oh dear. Ouch. Bon dia todos from Antonio F. And a bon dia gumpers from Jackie as well, who's having a cuppa. Look, do you like my cup? Got a cat cup this morning. Meow, meow. It's ironic, I can assure you. 2 cups in is Jackie. She's ahead of me here. I'm almost ready to start my day, but the world been told to clear off. Yes, until after this show. Priorities in order today, Boyle. You had your cuppa yet, my friend? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Have you had your cuppa? Has Antonio F had his cuppa? He says it's breakfast, but no tea involved. That's not a breakfast. Am I right, Jackie? It's not really a breakfast if there's no tea involved. Fair enough. A cup of coffee, whatever, toast, cereal, whatever you do. But at some point, I think, certain people among us don't feel right until they've had a cuppa. I know Jackie is one of them. Cup of tea is a power pack for a Welsh munching machine. Okay, fair enough. Yes, and don't forget, Jackie says, press the like button or we may disintegrate into a pillar of salt. And quite honestly, we still don't know what the like button does or doesn't do. Quite frankly, I couldn't cope with millions of people starting to watch the show in the morning. I quite like our quiet, comfortable intimacy here. If everyone starts pressing the like button willy-nilly, it might attract millions of people. We have to ask ourselves seriously, are we ready for that? Mr. Nibley, also in this morning. Good evening, good morning, everyone. I'm more used to seeing Frank in an evening context. You've been at the men's shed, haven't you, Frank? So good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Senor Nibley. Michael Barton also in. See you next Wednesday at the Storytellers. Should we preview the menu for anyone who's coming to the Storytellers? Carl Hyde, actually, who's going to be with us at around 9:30 this morning, will also be joining us at the... Oh, and an image coming in. Oh, I'm not sure I can share that one. Thank you very much. You know who you are, who's just sent that in. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Storytellers. We've got Carl Hyde joining us this morning, and he's coming along to the Storytellers. I think Lee, head gardener, if you got any gardening tips, Lee McGrady also popping along. So there's a few people already booked for the 4th Wednesday at the Storytellers. And the menu this time, sardines. I think Gilda's joining us as well. She's going to have the sardines. The starter is a goat's cheese pizza. The mains are vegetarian, actually a vegan sushi. You can have roasted sardines with salad, or you can have a grilled rolle steak. Now, someone did tell me what that was, but I can't remember now. And dessert of melon and watermelon ice cream. That sounds like fairly straightforward, isn't it? Just bang it in the freezer. I'm sure Marco will be doing something much more elaborate and sophisticated than that. Let me know. RSVP to me. You can't just rock up to that. We start with drinks at about midday in the Gatsby bar. Then we have a fine lunch from 1 o'clock. All welcome, but you need to pre-book for that. Right, where did we get to in the chat as we await the arrival, not only of Veronica, but also we've got Atharva Balarao, I think. We'll ask him. He calls himself Atharva B. Maybe he even himself has a struggle pronouncing his surname and just goes by the onstage moniker of Atharva B. 8 regions in Portugal apparently are on yellow alert today and tomorrow due to high temperatures, thus a high risk of forest fires. Yeah, San Martinho de Porto Bombeiros, God bless them, were I'm not sure if the right word is drilling, but they were hosing down the station, bringing all the trucks out onto the front of the forecourt. So it looks like they're ready. On a state of alert as well. I heard that Sarah Millican did a show in Portugal recently. That is true. I think Pete Bleach was there. My sister's area in Bulgaria is on red alert with fires. The Welsh sisters fleeing Wales for Europe. And here's a post-cataract surgery update. Second eye was finished a week ago. Tuesday, and my final follow-up appointment is in 3 weeks. All is progressing well, and I'm happy with the whole process. That's fantastic. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that with us, John. And if anyone is considering lens replacement surgery, please feel free to get in touch. What a legend, eh? Please feel free to get in touch with me to ask any questions and begin your own investigations. Love that. Thank you very much, Joelle. Very helpful to the rest of the community here as ever. How was it seeing the operation close up? You can't get much closer than an eye operation, really, can you? I had a bit of metal lodged behind my eye, and the doctor literally popped my eyeball out, and I could see from my cheek. Now, I've heard of this before, and I thought it was an urban myth, but you can actually pop an eye out, can you? And then, like a sort of webcam, move it around to different places, or you let the doctor do that, I guess. What do you do? It was quite a queasy experience, says Pete. Did he use a spoon? Never trust a doctor's pen. I think maybe the same is true with a doctor's teaspoon. Might have had Pete's eye out earlier on in the day with it. Presumably gives it a wipe down with an alcoholic wipe. Who doesn't like an alcoholic wipe first thing in the morning? Hey, lovely people. Gabby, good morning to you in Portugal. I love my beaker in the morning. Looking forward to Wednesday at Storytellers. We'll see you there. I've got your order. Thanks, Gabby. I'm here, there, and everywhere. A friend died a few days ago, and I have great memories of when we met. How sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Nubianet. I'm thinking about my country and how I'll vote, and thinking of becoming a consultant. Wow. So whilst you're lying there in a feverish state, hold on a minute, Frank. Oh, I thought Frank, our friend Algarve Frank was here. Frank Nibley, of course. We have two fine Franks in our community. That threw me for a moment. But yeah, Nubianet, while you're laying there in your feverish state, all these thoughts are going through your head. And sorry to hear about your friend there. And you have great memories, which is lovely to hear. So yes, Sarah Milliken, Pete says, I went to that show. It was excellent. I think we've got a good chance of getting comedians on this show, however big they are, because they will probably be not familiar with Portugal, and they might they'll be familiar with coming to Portugal in a hotel room, probably, and coming onto stage and saying, okay, I've been told this is Lisbon. Good evening, Lisbon. How are you doing? Where are you from, mate? What do you do? All that sort of stuff. And I don't suppose they'll have connected much with the culture. So I think they might like to join us on the Good Morning Portugal show and face some of your questions and best wishes for their show here in Portugal. So if you're connected with the management of any comedians, or you can find out how to do that, invite them onto the show. Same with musicians. Squire of the show, morning to you. Sun's out here for once. Happy days. How are you doing? What's going on with you at the moment? I hope everything's going well. And I think... Pam would have liked to have seen Sarah Milliken. Didn't hear about it until too late. Well, I think a lot of these bigger comedians are coming back again and again to Portugal. The tickets sold out in less than an hour, says Pete. I'm on a few lists. I'll let you know if her or Gary Delaney, if you fancy something even ruder. I've got a feeling our comedian guest this morning, who I think will be joining us quite soon, might be quite rude. He might pop in, or I'll just keep the show open after 10, hopefully, because he's landed in Lisbon. I think he's coming from Texas, and he's going up to Semi Freddy. I need to know why that restaurant is called Semi Freddy's as well. Why? OMG, Pete, that's amazing. The one thing I've learned through this process is how resilient and adaptive our eyes are. Yeah, right. And they are so sensitive on the one hand, aren't they? They're so delicate and so miraculous with what they do. I mean, come on, consider it for a moment. These eyes, these things we have in the fronts of our heads, hopefully. And they are incredible and miraculous and incredibly resilient as well, with doctors hacking in with spoons and scalpels. Brandy also in this morning. How are you doing? Bon dia, Malta. How are you doing, Brandy? And good morning, everyone from Gemini Bradshaw as well. I'm hoping a guest will join me soon, for the very least reason that I can have a sip of tea. I wonder if there's a little video I can play. I think I'll play Carl's video now. Give me a chance to have a sup on my tea and enjoy what Carl sent me. This is Gizmo.
So we have Gizmo the shadow hunter chasing the bee shadows. Still hasn't learnt after 2.5 years. Silly boy. But from the south side of Lisbon, or just south of Lisbon, glorious day. Hope it's going to be as hot as yesterday. Let's face it, that's one of the reasons we're all here. Little workout this morning with my boy too. See you all soon.
Check him out. He's working out in the searing heat south of the river there. Nice one. Nice set of dumbbells there, Carl. How's it going? I think you've embarked recently. We can ask you when you get here. You've embarked on a little bit of a regime recently. And it is odd. This was at Moorfields Eye Hospital. That's near, which part of town is that? It's North London, isn't it? And it was very quick, as leaving your eye out for too long makes it more likely to pop out again. Well, what does your skull gets used to it and doesn't allow it back in? Whoa, okay. And I mean, those people who are popping eyes in and out all day long, that's extraordinary. That's amazing. And Pete, wow, you're always good for an anecdote, Peter. That's fantastic. The eye on the cheek, looking down at the floor. I mean, presumably your brain was trying to assimilate the two. This eye, the good eye, looking at the doctor and trying to keep in touch with reality, whilst the other eye that had its bit of metal lodged behind it, which is I think what you said, is looking downwards and receiving attention. What were you seeing at that point, I wonder? Or were you just looking like, was it Rodney Dangerfield or was that other comedian who used to do a lot of work with Mel Brooks, with his eyes looking in different directions? Anyway, Liz F is also here this morning. Good morning to you, Liz. Good morning. Maybe if Semi-Freddy's is Italian, it could be inspired by the Semi-Freddo dessert. And don't you start, Pete. I do not want your interpretations as to why Semi-Freddy's is called Semi-Freddy's or Semi, as Bob, me, Bob, Viv, and Louisa laughed about, because Bob used to be quite handy with a semi, apparently, back in the United States. Okay, what's happened to Veronica this morning? I wonder. We're awaiting the arrival of her. She's very late this morning. I think she's got a tale or two to tell of this morning and what she's been up to in the last couple of weeks. Marty Feldman, that's the guy, isn't it? Was he in Blazing Saddles, was he not? And yes, that scene also comes to mind for me when I think of Blazing Saddles. Veronica's going to be joining us, allegedly. We have our man, Atharva B, also joining us, although he didn't respond to my message, can you join me at 9:25? So that's why he probably didn't join me at 9:25. And Carl Hyde, help me out here. He's due in a few minutes as well. And he's got a nice property that we can begin to look at already, if you like. Squire of the Shires, hola, Senor Antonio, saudações você there. And so keep your eye on the ball can be literal. Yes, indeed. He was keeping his eye on the floor and one ahead of him as well. Incoming still on 913-590-303. Oh, that's thank you very much. That's an order. 2 steaks and 2 sushis, please. Okay, that must be for. I can't get these mixed up. If I get these mixed up, I'm going to end up sending a food order to the wrong restaurant, maybe Semi-Freddy's in Serta. And oh, excellent! All right, you're sending me videos, Veronica, here of the new senior living centre. Now, I'm fascinated by this, and I think you're going to be telling us about this when you join us. But I've predicted this for some time now. The senior living centres are now emerging at scale, I think, here in Portugal. So we'll hear more about that when Veronica joins us. And good to hear you're now in recovery, Pete. I think this was some time ago when Pete had an eyeball on his cheek. Let's find out if Carl Hyde has ever had this situation of an eyeball on the cheek. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Saving me from a Billy No Mate situation, Carl. Thank you very much. Coming to my
pleasure. I was trying to get on a little earlier, but I've been having technical difficulties myself. So my nice agency virtual background has disappeared. All my details. So I was scrambling around as quickly as I could. But,
mate, we've got a lovely pad, which will make for a lovely a visual on the screen in just a moment. Not that you're not a lovely visual yourself, and I look forward to that in real life next Wednesday. Could you give us a little bit of a review as one of our most regular visitors to the 4th Wednesday at the Storytellers? Why do you keep coming back?
Well, I mean, I love Salmantino de Porto for a start. It's a beautiful day, and I just like the storytellers. I mean, I think I say every time I go, I could move into the Gatsby bar and make it my permanent residence. You know, yes. Whether I could afford it or not full time is another thing, but it's. The food's really good, and then the bar downstairs, it's just like, it's got like a cigar lounge kind of vibe to it. It's just really sort of chilled, and the service is always excellent. And I'm a big thing. For me, service is like really important. The food can be great, but if the service isn't, then it means nothing. So the service is always top class. So I just love the place.
Yeah, and they're very attentive, aren't they? And it's a real white linen, silver service sort of place, and we feel special, don't we, when we're there?
Absolutely, it's top class.
Yeah, very good. And it's 25 euros for the lunch, which, to be fair, is a little bit more expensive than a lot of prato de dias that you're going to find in Portugal. But you've got that ambiance, you've got that view, and you've got some ham.
It's different. It's not just your standard, going to your local restaurant kind of thing. It's special. It's a little bit different. So if you're looking to treat yourself, then it's a no-brainer for me. Absolutely.
Yep.
In fact, next week, I heard you talking before. So head gardener McGrady will be there.
Yep.
And I've got family visiting from the UK. My brother's here with his son. So it'll be me, head gardener Lee McGrady, and my brother Paul. So a Mancunian collective taking over.
Yes, the place will have a Mancunian ring to it. Who doesn't like a Mancunian ring first in the morning? I mean, I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but he phoned me this morning. Last night, did Lee, saying, I'm joining you and you're buying me lunch. He was in no way.
I was sat there when he sent that message. I said,
right, you heard my reply, which we can't repeat. Right. Okay. Right. But yes, look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. How have you been? It looks very beautiful south of the river, or very warm anyway. And as you said, that's why we moved here. Thank goodness, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we had a bit of rain last week, like just one evening of rain.
That's all right. That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine, But yeah, it's perfect. It's beautiful. The weather's great. It's calm. This is just the way I like it. It could be like this every single day of the year for me. That's what I came here for. So as you saw from the video, just doing a little workout on the terrace there, trying to get my boy into the routine as well and keep myself in the routine because I do need to get in shape.
But what does he do? What does Gizmo do while you're working out? He must think something awful's happening to you as you're lying in your back grunting and groaning.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first started, I started a new regime in January. I was doing a lot more running about, running up and down. And so he would follow me and chase me and think it was a game. Now I'm just concentrating on lifting weights because I need to build strength. As you know, I had surgery last year on my spine, so I'm trying to just sort of build overall core strength. But normally what he does is what you see in the video. He chases shadows, butterflies and bees, and he doesn't understand that there's nothing there really.
Bless him. He is cosmic, isn't he? He is very cosmic.
He's cute. He's a lovely little boy.
It's very lovely. Your love affair with him is also something to behold as well. It's a lovely backstory, and you two are such top pals. He's even getting a mention here from Pete. Where is the lovely Gizmo, and has Clint contacted you? You've got some personal mail this morning.
Gizmo, I don't know where he is at the moment, but because I've told everyone to stay away because the house is full, and I don't want naked or semi-naked people walking past the camera. So I've closed all doors. And Clint did contact me, and we just missed messages with each other. So I'll actually send him another SMS right after this. But I've looked at the property, a beautiful place that Clint wants to sell, well into sort of, it's not far from where Pete is, but I mean, it's really close to the Spanish border, historic town, Airbnb, low price.
I think I know the place. Yeah.
I think you should get, it could be good to get Clint on here if he'd do it and just talk about it, because he might find a buyer himself. Because it's a great little investment for somebody, a beautiful old property.
Is this Joseph's dad?
I'm not sure that. I don't know Clint personally. I was just got onto it. Pete put him onto me. And like I say, we spoke for a while about the property that they want to sell. It's a really long way from where I live, which makes it difficult for me to sell and list. Yes. But I do hope to give him more advice. And I will. I'll list it if they want me to. But it's like a 3-hour drive from where I live. So it creates some logistical problems, Totally
understand that. But this sounds like a very special place. If that's up your alley, this is a nice place with an Airbnb opportunity.
Nice little investment. Could be a nice little investment or a little crash pad, if you want somewhere deep in the countryside, but still in a little kind of tourist spot, great option.
Okay, and we can let perhaps Paul Rees and Stephen White know about that as well. I'm sure between us we can find a new buyer and a proud new recipient of that. Yeah. Did you just say SMS, which is quite an old-fashioned turn of phrase?
Well, I did, because that's one of the problems that I've had. I think Clint still has a UK number. Okay. And I don't think he's on WhatsApp, or I couldn't find him on WhatsApp. So whenever they call me or send a message, it's always via SMS.
I see.
And they phone me from their UK phone, and I don't know what that costs them. But I don't make international calls. I'm too cheap for that. It's always got to be a WhatsApp call because I'm not getting I'm not getting spanked by Noj. They already take enough money off me every month. So
Spanked
if you
by
want to
Noj.
call me on WhatsApp. Yeah, please.
No one likes a spanking by Noj.
No, I've plenty.
When you said SMS, it immediately dated you, I think, as somebody who may have had this happen to them. Do you remember that? Did you have a chopper back in the day?
Yeah, plenty of grazed shins on those things.
I mean, you can still get a tonk on the shin, so to speak, from a modern bicycle, but I guess they're not quite as lethal as they used to be.
Well, do you know what we used to do with those? So we had the old BMXs.
Yeah.
We used to go crazy driving around the streets. I mean, you just wouldn't let your kids do it now. But we'd get the little Calippo cups drinks that were in the plastic cups, crush them, and you stuff them into the back wheel where the brakes are.
Yeah.
And when you pedal, it makes a motorbike sound. So we just tear around the streets pretending we were on motorbikes, obviously annoying all the neighbours.
Bless you. So in the minds of these children, they were like a biker gang, and to old people, it's just like, what is that noise?
Yeah, I was in a biker gang as an 8-year-old. You know?
The mean streets of Manchester. Right, Veronica is here now. I'm not sure what's happening to Algarve. Give us a thumbs up, Veronica, if you're ready to join us. We've got a lovely property to look at. No, she's still not quite ready yet. Oh, yes, she is. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. We've got beautiful property to look at. Where's this one, Carl, that we're looking at?
So it's in Carcavelos, which is
nice.
Just a little bit east of Lisbon, between Cascais and Lisbon. So. Carcavelos is close to San Domingos de Rana and other neighbourhoods like that.
Definitely. We'll come back to that.
Location.
Looking forward to that already. Okay, so you've got a nice one to preview with us. An interesting project that Veronica's going to tell us about this morning as well, after we found out how she is. Nice big round of applause. Hola, bom dia, tudo bem?
Hola, bom dia. Hello, Carl.
What have you been up to in the
Carl's.
last couple of weeks?
Hola, Carl's. Tudo bem?
You're at a Carl sandwich. Not many people get that privilege.
First thing in the morning. Where's your
and our comedian has joined us now.
Sandwich first thing in the morning. Sorry to your wives.
Not at all. Now.
Actually, if your wife was there, I would Carl sandwich with her. I love Mrs. M.
My goodness. Right. Okay.
Sounds like a promise.
I love her. I think she's absolutely amazing. You better watch her back if we're all around. I'll marry her.
Goodness.
We're always in churches, right? So, we'll go to the Tomar Church. I'm sure they have a secret chapel somewhere.
What?
So
that escalated
really
quickly.
Are so fortunate to have that lovely, lovely lady. When we finally met face to face, we had to give each other a big hug. She's just
you're right, and thank you for the reminder. It is good to be reminded, isn't it? Because we can get a bit familiar and comfortable in life, and it's nice to get that reminder. So I'll give her a snog after the show. Thank you for that prompt.
Yeah,
now,
give her 2.
All right, I'll give her 2 snogs. All right, fair enough.
And then when if I'm walking through my apartment, I have all of a sudden feel this like magic love and glow. It will be. No, I don't want to update myself. Cancel. Okay.
It's not.
Then
So
when I get the glimmer for no reason,
you will feel a disturbance in the force. Watch out for it, or it will take you by surprise. At around, I don't know, maybe 10:15 this morning, check that disturbance out in the force as I snog my wife here in San Martino de Porto.
I will.
Enough of that. I'm sorry if you're having your breakfast. And can we?
I think it's good to be reminded of love all the way around. Friendship, love.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, we have Algarve B, who's joined us now from a hotel room in Lisbon. He is rock and roll. He's just flown in from Texas, I think, to do a comedy gig in central Portugal. We will come back to real estate and the Algarve and Lisbon in just a moment. I am taking a massive risk here. I wasn't able to check out any of his material. He is doing a gig tonight, and he's a no-holds-barred comedian. What could possibly go wrong on the Good Morning Portugal show?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Algarve. How are you?
Good morning. I hope everyone's doing great.
We are, and we're delighted to have you join us here. I saw your gig advertised at Semi Freddy's, and we'll find out why it's called that, I'm sure, in due course. And I said, will Algarve join us on the Good Morning Portugal show ahead of the gig? And you very kindly said yes, so thank you for that.
No worries at all.
And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So there you are in a Lisbon hotel room, I guess, although that probably is a Zoom background that you can select. But that's for real, right? You've just landed in Lisbon, is that right?
I landed in Lisbon last night, and here we are on the show, yeah.
And you flew in from Texas?
Flew in from Texas, yeah.
Wow. Okay. And what can we expect from you tonight? I mean, you've just flown in, bit of jet lag maybe, and you're going to be performing tonight at Semi Freddy's in Sertão, right, in central Portugal.
Yeah, Sarsa. The show is gonna be just my routine. We're gonna do about half an hour to 40 minutes. You know, depending on the crowd work. I'm gonna have fun.
Yes.
And you were concerned that I'm a no holds barred comedian. I understand this is a morning show. I'm not gonna
It
get
isn't
wild right
always a
now.
morning show, though, is it, Carl?
We can be quite inappropriate, but you know, we've never met
What's
before.
under the surface.
Yes. Okay. So, what if you can give us an idea then? What sort of areas you might be going to as a no holds barred comedian? I mean, are you just happy to talk about everything, and you're happy to shock and amuse people at the same time?
Pretty much. I was on a cruise recently, so I do some cruise bits and how cruises suck. And
while you're on a cruise,
I was on a cruise to Alaska with my family, and I thought I liked my family up until day 3, and then it's like maybe the Titanic wasn't entirely a tragedy for everyone on board,
I think many people have been there, right? It seemed like a good idea at the time. It's only 27 more days to go on here. Fantastic. Now, have you got a Portuguese connection? What is it that's brought you here from Texas to the middle of Portugal, central Portugal?
Yeah, it does seem kind of random. I wanted to travel to Portugal this year. That was my goal. And I ended up reaching out to Sebastian, who owns the restaurant, and he had a comedy night he was gonna do once a month. So it's just kind of like lined up pretty perfectly in that way.
Okay, all right. And I think we live in times which is probably quite a rich seam of material for a no holds barred comedian. Can you give us a clue as to some of your other material that you might be touching on this evening?
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about my childhood growing up in America. I moved to the States when I was 12, so that was kind of a weird experience growing up in there around that age,
Where from? What were your origins?
I'm from India.
Uh-huh.
I was born in India. I stayed there till I was 12, and then my dad got a job in the States, so we moved when I was around 12.
Wow, that must have been quite an interesting thing to do at the age of 12.
Yeah, very the growing pains in a new country kind of hit different,
I bet. Yeah, incredible.
Makes you tough.
Yeah. So, what did that presumably has influenced your comedy as well?
Yeah. There's some bits that I talk about growing up there, and how it's new and different, and change is pretty crazy going from that to that background to the new background in America. But yeah, I have some observational comedy as well on top of that.
Yes.
But yeah.
And we're lucky to have you, I think, because your career is going well in the States, isn't it? You're getting some great.
I don't know about that.
No?
It is going all right. I've gone from doing bar comedy in front of 5 people to now I'm doing all right. I have a crowd now.
Right. So we are lucky to have you in Portugal. I mean, you obviously wanted to come here, which is a great coincidence. But I'm not sure that many comedians would say, suddenly fly from America to perform in a restaurant in Portugal of an evening. Is this your only date? Are you coming to have a holiday as well?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Is it your only date in Portugal, or are you going to turn it into a European tour of some sort?
Ooh, that would have been cool. I was trying to reach out to the club here in Lisbon, but I think their dates don't align with the dates that I'll be here. So it's unfortunate.
I've got a Facebook friend in Lisbon called Kip Stolberg. I know he does some. I think it's improv comedy and things like that. I've never actually been to one of the shows, but. Maybe reach out to him. He knows a lot of people in the comedy scene, that's for sure.
And
awesome, yeah.
Our mate Tama Katan has been on the show here as well, and I think Tama is pretty big, and he's part of running that comedy club in improv and comedy gathering on a fairly regular basis in Lisbon, and he learned Portuguese to work into his set as well. He's quite an amazing guy, so we can definitely put you in touch with Tama. Are you looking forward to trying anything specifically Portuguese while you're here? If I could be nosy,
bits wise, yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of like asking people. I recently got into doing crowd work. I'm getting more comfortable with that. So yeah, there'll be some crowd work about the politics maybe in back home versus the politics here.
Nothing funny about that,
like
though.
that.
Ask them what they think of politics.
No, I mean, just as a topic. I'm not gonna get into the specifics of what I will be doing tonight, but yeah, just as an overarching topic, yeah.
Of course. It'd be hard not to include it, and so that's how it'll be. People will be coming along for a meal at Semi Freddy's in Sertar, and they will laugh as they eat with you this evening. That's the format.
That is the hope. That is the hope.
Right. Brilliant. Well, excellent to have you here. Can we help you at all? I mean, is there anything you want to know about Portugal while you're here as a new arrival? How are you feeling having just flown in from Texas?
Yeah, got a read of Portugal last night. I was driving. I'm a huge fan of driving. That's why I kind of elected to go to all these different places. But yeah, I haven't really gotten to see Portugal during the day yet, so I'm not even sure what I should be asking you. But are the drivers here all right? Like, do they drive well here?
No, they don't.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Don't ask Carl about driving in here.
Hey, come down south and deal with the Spanish, man.
Let me tell you something.
Out of a box.
The driving here is, well, it's just terrible. You know, the Portuguese are such beautiful, friendly, patient people, yeah? For a country that loves bureaucracy and a process and things taking time. And then you put them behind the wheel of a car, yeah? And they've got to get there yesterday. They must push in. They must drive up your ass. And driving here, to me, I hate it.
Come to LA, buddy.
Like about Portugal.
When you get to LA, you put your little hat on and you go, "Ooh, get out of my way!" You know,
don't let that be
out
you.
That they have a gun. You'll see them like reach over.
Sorry to be a bit negative. That's my honest to God experience of it. I don't enjoy driving here. People are not polite. For such a beautiful people, you put them behind the car and they just sort of something switches and it's like it's me only and I must have my way. It's not fun. You know,
I bet you're glad you asked, aren't you, Athava?
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I asked because it seems like a huge problem here, at least with the people here. I've driven in Houston though, and Houston drivers are just, I mean, the way they drive, you're like, are they even looking at the road right now? It's that bad.
Yeah. Well, Antonio F just put a comment on there, said, I see you've never driven in Italy. Now, I haven't driven in Italy, but I've been driven in Italy. And that is the only place that is worse that I know of than Portugal. I went there at I was about 21 years old. I'd been in the Royal Air Force. I'd left, but my friend had been posted to a place called Vicenza in northern Italy, attached to an American Air Force base there, part of a NATO project. So I went over there for a week, and we drove from there one day to Venice, just to have a day out. My God, the driving.
He's a nervous passenger, obviously.
I'm a nervous passenger, but it was super aggressive in Italy, I've got to say. I mean, they just drive right up behind you, flashing their lights like, move.
I feel like we can't leave at this point without giving some glimmer of hope and light to Atharva, who's just newly arrived in the country, asking an innocent question about driving, and now he's terrified about getting on the road. It's a great way to make friends because you can see him really up close in the rear view mirror. We can almost see their face in the rearview mirror. So that's on the plus side. Anything else? Any other tips we can give you as a new arrival here? I mean, you're going to be fed, I think, very well tonight. You're going to be having some Italian food, aren't you? Not Italian driving, but Italian food at Semi Freddy's.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. I get free food tonight, and then I'm also staying with the host. So that should be fun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the gig is tonight, and you can find Semi Freddy's on Facebook, and you can go see the gig tonight with Atharva. Will you keep in touch with us? I mean, if you're coming back, you must let us know. We'd be very happy to promote your work as a comedian over here and helping people to laugh and cheer up here in Portugal when times get tough. Very important job, I think, being a comedian at the moment with so many crazy things going on in the world. It's a great job you're doing. So keep up the great work, Atharva, and lovely to meet you.
Yeah, well, likewise. It was just nice being here, and thank you guys for having me.
All right, mate. Take care. Have a great gig tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Ciao, ciao. Carl, really? He's asking about the driving, and now he's probably going to get the bus.
Carl, it's the one thing that makes my blood boil. I love the place. I'm never leaving this place. I'm going to die here, hopefully in 50 years. But driving here drives me absolutely nuts every single day.
All right. I never have issues driving here. People are always nice. I think we need to maybe retrain you. I don't know.
No.
Contrary-wise, I enjoy driving here.
He's like, no, I don't have problems here. I only have problems if somebody cuts me off or someone's a jerk. I look straight to the license plate, and every time there's a big E, which I thought for the longest time when I first got here, I was like, why do the people in Spain get to have the EU thing? Why do they get to have EU? Like, why do the Spain? And finally someone said España. I'm like, why do they get the E? And then we get the P that looks like the handicap P.
Yeah.
You know, so it's blue and it looks just like
that.
sign.
Well, I mean, I understand, like,
oh, you'll love that.
So it's busy, but I mean, I'm in the busiest part of the country, and I have to deal with the 25th of April bridge and going into Lisbon.
Yep.
And it's just, not everybody's bad. You know, it's not everybody, but there are just too many people who just don't give a damn. And it's like, I'm going to drive to the end of the queue and try and pull it at the last minute. I'm going to drive right up your arse end, you know, whether you're doing speeding or not, and you've got kids in the car.
I think it's too many people in a little spot, just like any of the big cities, New York, LA, I'm sure downtown Houston.
And I'm much better than I used to be, because now I see it coming. I look in the rearview mirror and I see that car heading towards me, bouncing on the road, just going so fast. And I'm like, okay, get out of the lane. This guy's coming through in his 30-year-old Vauxhall Corsa, you know, doing 200 miles per hour or kilometers per hour.
Veronica, he's gone to the dark side. We need to get him back. Let's get him back on real estate, shall we?
I'm very rarely negative about this country, but driving, forget about it.
Well, I mean, every place has its good and bad.
I got a distinct impression that he doesn't like driving here. Anyway, let's watch a video about elder care. If you end up somewhere like this, Carl, you'll be driven, or you can just stay in the beautiful grounds of this amazing development. This is something you've been taking a look at, right, Veronica? Which shall I play, the short video or the long video first?
The long one. I spent hours and hours editing. And, you know, I'm really frustrated. I love Apple. The phones are amazing. I dropped mine and was forced to buy the, you know, newer one. I was going to wait for the next model, but I just cracked it beyond repair. And so when, you know, it has all these new gizmos and it keeps uploading before it can even fully process these videos. And then you go to get them and they're not anywhere. They're not in the cloud. They're not on your phone. And then when you do try to edit, it takes forever to download to your phone to then upload to, you know, your video editor. Then when you go back to get them, they're all gone again. And you spend all this time editing them. And even when you get it finished editing and then you're trying to upload, it disappears. And then even sending to you, I look back now and it did send. And you're like, where?
Well, here's the thing, you know, just to put out a simple Instagram video, you think I'll do a little sweet video about a little property, and it's 3 hours of work, chopping. It's not right. It's not, get the text right.
It sent me to the hospital. I spent the entire week editing, and the thing disappeared, and I think it just gave me a heart attack right there.
Oh dear, yeah.
I should have them pay my health insurance.
Well, welcome to Get Stuff Off Your Chest Thursday with Veronica, the American.
Is that what it's going to be?
I think it is.
Don't drive.
Carl's had a massive moan about driving. You've unburdened yourself about Apple and editing on their software.
I think everybody's had a computer thing blow their mind.
That's true.
Listen, you know, last week, I just bought a new gimbal. I say a new one. The first time I've had a gimbal for taking my own videos, and it's a whole new world of pain. You know,
What's
it's
a
just
gimbal?
I don't understand.
All right, should we watch the short video of the long video?
Tell me what a gimbal is first. It sounds like
It's a stabilizer. So you put your phone in it, and then you can walk around, and it stabilizes the image so it looks a bit more professional. So you can do your own stuff.
Some with stabilizers in the software. So you just hit the stabilizer button.
These are better, much better.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a companion dog for Gizmo. I mean, can you imagine it in the morning?
Well, you know,
Gizmo, because
my wife, we're getting more Dachshund.
Gizmo. You know? He's literally called Gizmo.
Where's she gone now? What's happening this morning?
Things on it. This is Gizmo right here.
Your show's not going to plan.
This has not got a total. Oh, she's back.
Is this?
What's that?
That's a Gizmo.
It's just, I call him Gizmo because I love the name Gizmo, member of the Gremlins.
Yes.
But it's a
Veronica, you didn't know that my puppy is called Gizmo, my little Dachshund.
The cute little ones, not the bad ones, the good ones. But it's literally, I call him, I wrote Gizmo on it and have Gizmo on both sides, so I only use the good cord. It's just a Wi-Fi. They're unlimited Wi-Fis. This is pro tip of the day. When you first move here and you're buying your Wi-Fi plan and you're using your cable plan and your telephone and your usually you get 2 cell phones with it. One of these unlimited Wi-Fi gizmos, I literally call them Gizmo. Your Wi-Fi gizmo has unlimited data. So if you're going to be driving a lot, doing a lot of road trips, this thing is only $15, unlimited Wi-Fi. So sometimes everybody's on there.
My Gizmo is not Wi-Fi. You're not Wi-Fi compatible. My Gizmo is not Wi-Fi compatible.
But it is another name
What's
for you.
What's the point of it? It's actually called a kangaroo.
He's talking about his dog.
My
dog's name is Gizmo?
What's the point? What's the point of it? Companionship? Someone who's always happy to see you? No. Right, but that is another name.
This gives me a lot of data from my phone when I'm on a huge road trip. Like when I just jumped in the car, met you in Tomar, and you've been all over the newspapers in that. That was kind of cool that they did a Portuguese article from your article in The Resident.
My editor was furious. They just cut and pasted it without permission. But there we were. But
the thing is that's advertising for them. That's great because they use the whole headline and everything. So it's like paying for an advertisement. Usually another newspaper wouldn't be like greedy.
So long as they refer back to the original article, I don't know if they did that or not, but you should always refer to your sources if you've not done that.
Well, yeah, they definitely refer to it when they just show a whole picture of it. Okay. And then I'm like, cool, there's free airtime for me too. So.
And I loved it how they translated Garvo the Great and Chinese Terry to Garvo Grande and Terry Chinese.
I wanted it super sized.
Yes, Terry Chinese. Right. I think we've resolved everything. We've got 2 minutes to go. We've got videos to look at.
I am so sorry about being like this.
Fine. We can run on a little. Yeah.
I went into the shower and I came out a half hour later and I don't know what happened. I seriously lost a half hour. I mean, yes, I shampooed my hair and shaved my legs, but still a half hour. Come on.
Come on. Right.
2 or 3 minutes extra. I get that, but come on. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And then I started playing with the phone and nothing would send. It's just a tech day. What's going on with the moon?
It's one of those days. It is definitely. I don't know. There's a transit in Uranus again, probably.
The way you said it.
Yes. This has certainly been one of the most
transits I've heard.
This is White Van Man. It's your fault.
White Van Man.
Right. So we've talked about.
I was in the white van. Did you see that? I sent in our group when they took me 2 days in a row in the ambulance with the sirens wailing. And the funny thing is I put in the group chat, "Hey guys, I'll be gone. We had something going on or something." I said I won't be there. I'm going off to. I had my nails booked and everything. I said I'm going to be gone. I'm going to the hospital in the ambulance, and they have the things rolling. And one of my friends said, "Oh yeah, I just saw an ambulance in the highway, and I saw Denise driving your car behind it," because she was smart enough. She's like, "Well, I'll go with you to the hospital, but I'll drive your car. Otherwise, we'll both be stuck there." You know, she was smart enough. They take you there by ambulance. You're not getting home.
For people who are not aware of what happened to you, we were terrified for you, and I don't know how much you want to say about it, but you had.
I just went numb. I've been sitting at the computer, of course, editing for an entire week. And,
yeah.
you know, and then that morning I've been sitting still. You know, you look down and then again, time warp, 5 hours later, time's just gone. And then stood up to get a glass of water. And my left side just started going numb. Just like up and down my leg and up into, and then you can't think straight.
Yes.
So they just, you know, and talking to everybody, nobody knows what it is, but they think it's like a little piece of a blood clot or something, like breaks free and goes floating around. And then you've got like a mini stroke or something. And then it happened the next day too. So they take you to the hospital, and of course everybody gives up on you. And just the next thing you know, you're sitting in a waiting room somewhere, you know, hours and hours later, and they've forgotten about you. So eventually I just left. I said, let's go. Like they were, but the cool thing is they did a CAT scan, blood test, everything while I'm having this huge migraine headache. So their care was, as far as that end of it, they pushed you through and did everything quick. But then there was no follow-up. So you're just in a corner. You had all these brilliant, you know, CAT scan, electrocardiogram, and all these things done. But then you're just left to rot in a corner. And so,
not ideal. So how are you now? I mean, I understand you've got good care now. I mean, you're as good as you can be, right?
As good as I can be, yeah. My friends, you know, this is when you realize you've got amazing friends and people who really care about you as a human. I do a lot of charity work and help people that, you know, when they move here and after they move here. And you do get a lot of people that are users too, right? It just happens. That's just the way it is. You're going to run into people who ask for a lot, and then when crap hits the fan, they're gone. Or
you get the ones that stick around who are golden.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. A friend in need is a friend indeed, is what you learn. And so one of my best friends, hello, Mandy, one of my best friends out there, and she made an appointment with her doctor and called him personally, and he got me in a day or two. And this man, oh my goodness, call me if you need a guy. He's in Salbrashti Arpertel. He sat down with me for a full hour and talked to me in depth. And
I'm glad to hear that. Sorry, that's for later.
Really well done. And he was from Holland, highly educated. And my insurance that I have, it's American military medical insurance. So I have to pay first and then get reimbursed. When I explained to them the way my insurance works is I have to pay first. And they said, okay, well, he was telling his checkout chickie that it would be the premium package or whatever that was, which to me is like, okay, that'll be the most expensive, you know, consultation they have, 60 euros.
Great.
In America, that it would be the clinic, everything would have been minimum 150 at least.
Yeah.
Plus, good luck getting in, right? 2 days notice to someone who spends that much time with you.
Yes.
And he, you know, he's like, what else do you think? And I have a bag with everything, because you know how the Portuguese left their paper. So bring all your stuff in paper form with you. Just get a notebook and shove it all in there. And he went through and he looked at everything, because he's looking at it. He's going, okay, so your sodium's really low. And I've always been low. So that's not in fact, I use salt a lot when I go places, and people are like, oh, you shouldn't use that much salt. And I'm like, trust me, I'm always low. And that's one of the things that I always get to walk away from the doctor and say, oh, you need to, use more salt.
I use that excuse in future when I'm salting my food. I didn't know that, but thank you for that excuse. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'm low on my sodium. But yeah, take your results so that they can look through the test. So what's normal for you might not be normal for somebody else, or the other way around. So just there, I think the level of care can be great, but it just depends on who you like and use. So I think Carl's group and networking group in general is so great, because you get in right away. And then even, with the people that I introduce people to in my little groups, you get the real and honest information. You get like, oh, this guy's great. Oh, I didn't like that guy, and not to, bag on people, but the more in an expat group that you can kind of get information from each other.
I have a very small group of people, trade people and things like that. And I've been here for 5 years, and there's a very, very small group of people in different professions that I would happily recommend. Generally, I don't. There's a lot of things that I can't recommend for. I work in real estate, but I can't recommend a builder because I've not met somebody yet that meets
Yeah.
the standard that, you know, but I do have others, not to put anything, you know, anyone down or anything, but being part of an expat network like this, where you can pass information around, you know, and
it's
find
huge.
people have genuine experiences, because it is so hard to find. And that's not just in Portugal, that's wherever you came from. You had a lifetime, I had a lifetime in the UK, and so I had a group of people that I could trust, and when I needed some plumbing or electrician or the car fix, I'm still building that network here. So just to network out and say, do you know somebody? It's invaluable.
It takes time. It does take time, doesn't it?
A long time. And even having been on this show for years now, and, you know, meeting one person here, one person there, even though you've met them, forming that relationship and, you know, finally chit-chatting on those back channels with like Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting. And then she's just funny. 24, isn't that great? Yeah, I had a little tiny crack on the front tooth here, and to have it on the front, people, you know, us from California, like our teeth always have to be just right, you know,
just like us in England, right? just like Manchester and London, exactly the same.
Oh my goodness, you Manchester people! I want to go and put up a big sign: clean your teeth. It's not
if you want to see a collection,
not just for appeerance. It's.
If you want to see a collection of bad teeth, come to the Storytellers.
So you guys do have a little bit of
Lee McGrady, Veronica, Lee McGrady will be modelling his new wooden teeth that have just come from the British National Health Service. They've been sent over.
Are you joking? I used to joke about that. That's not really real, is it?
Wooden teeth. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. But
actually, I'll say this: my brother, who you will meet next week, has perfect teeth, perfectly straight. Great colour, everything. From the word dot, from the day dot, I had terrible teeth. I had braces. I had teeth removed. They were all wonky and in different places. So, it's not that I don't care enough, but I'm not going to have any kind of, you know, people have them all taken out and shaved down these days.
When we go proper bald, and our teeth are proper wonky, we'll have a weekend in Turkey, you and me. Should we do that? And we'll come back.
Oh my goodness!
We'll come back with full heads of hair and lovely white, full, shining Californian smiles. We'll do that.
Oh my God! I have a guy here that I have never seen such. Well, two here that are from America, and I mean, their teeth are so perfect and so bright white. It's like, okay, that's not just like good dentistry throughout your whole life. This is like. They're like bright white, perfect. And I kept looking at him, and her ex-husband was a dentist. So she's like, you keep looking at my teeth. I'm like, they're beautiful and perfect. And she's like, yeah, they're all caps or crowns. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wow, that must have been painful and expensive. I
just want to say something to Carl, because I feel like he threw a bit of a slight at me then. We can get our hair and our teeth. Now, it may look like it's receding, but I can tell you, for the past 30 years, this has been the same hairline, okay?
Good for you, mate. No, I said when the time comes, it wasn't.
Okay, sorry.
We can be sensitive about this, us men, can't we? So, but however, in Portugal, not so much. I'm having a haircut in Lisbon, near, not far from where you live. And the hairdresser says to me, have you ever thought about having a hair transplant, cheeky cow? But people just talk about it very openly here. So I was doing it in that spirit. No offense, men. I hope we're good, Carl.
No, but it's really great, because this other guy went to Turkey, and he's gone back so many times for everything. He did all his teeth and was something like 12,000, which have been way more in California. I mean, they make a fortune off this stuff. He's done the hairline in Turkey. He's done, and I remember this year in Vietnam and Cambodia and where else was I? Vietnam, Thailand.
Yeah.
And everywhere, huge signs and all the newspapers, everything. It's like, you know,
it's
super cheap.
It's medical tourism, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And they do it here. They're bringing up more and more of that here, because to your point, I had to have a crown replaced here, and they're expensive back home. There's one I had to have replaced, and plus it's just a pain everywhere to do it. It hurts. You know,
it's nothing new, by the way, though. The English have been going to Turkey to have this done for quite some time now. The rest of Europe is catching up, and maybe even some North Americans as well. This is William Shakespeare when he went to Turkey. I just showing you fresh back from Istanbul.
Wow.
From Elizabethan time.
Just go bald, man. That's
It's nothing new.
So that's it. When my time comes, it's all coming off. If my time comes, it's all
yeah,
coming
just use a razor.
Right.
Go
I feel some sense of responsibility, given that I am the presenter and host of the show. We are now 10 minutes past 10. I think we're going to have to carry forward, or maybe even make a separate video about elder care. It's a very important thing.
Yeah, I really think we should, because what this is, it's an opportunity to actually invest, and then you get your care. You're investing in the project, and each portion that you invest, they figured out they've got 66 rooms that are 1,200, 66 double rooms. Then they have villas. Most of it's done. They just have a little bit more to go. They've got a couple pools. They'll actually have indoor pool, outdoor pool. They've got doctor's offices. They've got dining inside, dining outside. It's on a huge lot. There's that paper. I don't know if you can pull that up with the information on it. Oh yeah, there's just that in general. But they're quite large. That's one of the villas. And I think I pan up so you can see how tall it is, the ceiling. And that goes to outside there.
This is quite an exciting development here in Portugal.
Isn't it beautiful?
For people who are
that's Richard Bassett. He's the publisher. He was the initial investor. It was his parents' property, and as one of the initial investors, they don't need that much more. He's not looking at it to make it an investment. He's for himself. He's looking at it to help other people to invest in something that can also be for their long-term care, because then of course you get a huge deduction in the cost, because it's $1,200 a week.
All right, so $1,200 a week is for full care, is it?
Full care. Again, doctor's offices in there. They can have surgeries in there. This is kind of going to be the big outdoor dining area.
Yeah.
And they're just finishing that up. So they'll have full proper grills. Just think how nice that'll be, and that's near one of the pools.
I think this kind of thing, because I know I have something that I can talk about on another show with Christopher, but sort of retirement communities and things like this are a growing thing in Portugal. And I know
everywhere around the world it's important. We're getting older and older
everywhere, but I think because the relatively low cost of medical care and things like this, it's a growing market segment here. And I know us at the agency, we have something that's not ready, but it will be ready in a few years to come. So things like this that Veronica have, I'm sure these kind of things will be snapped up in no time, because if you can have all that on your doorstep and pay what is relatively inexpensive. I mean, if you come from California or
good luck.
A week is it's very reasonable.
If that's for your room though, is it? So if it's a double, would a couple stay there for $1,200 a week? Is that how it
would
works?
be per person.
Per person, okay, all right.
Because you're talking food, medical. There's so much included.
So it's a hotel life, isn't it, for the rest of it?
Because it could be. It's also licensed as a hotel.
Yeah. Okay. So but it's living a hotel life with.
I think if you got a big group of people involved in how to direct it, you really should have this as something. I think personally, one of the things we're missing out on is bridging that gap between like grandchildren and grandparents, because as a grandparent, there's such a huge resource loss as they start losing some of their abilities. And so if you have them both at the same place, or grandma and grandpa could also be playing with their grandchildren, because you always need that child care. And what better love than a grandchild with a grandparent and a grandparent with a grandchild?
Well, you get an economy of scale, don't you? If you invest in Portugal as 2 generations, you're going to get an economy of scale there, aren't you? That's
absolutely
all 3 generations.
Giving maybe money or inheritance tax to grandkids versus buying in as a family, I think, and I don't think you can really go wrong with a place like this. Or let's say in the summer, this is where the grandkids go with the grandparents, and it's basically like a big holiday home. And you saw all the space that was there, that was available to have, play areas, and they've got huge back area. There's a lot of videos I couldn't send that I'll try again to edit and save on my computer. And Let's see if
Well,
I can.
thank you for introducing us to that one. Where is it, Veronica? Briefly.
That one is by Salbrashti Arportel. It's between. Let's see, not. I always want to say Monchique, but it's Moncarpaccio. Between Moncarpaccio and Salbrashti Arportel.
That's the
And
Faro
property
district.
is just huge. I sent also just as a stagnant photo the information about it, the acreage and how much it would cost to invest. And you don't have to invest a huge amount. You can invest, $50,000 or $75,000 or more. So for someone looking for an investment as well as future care, because there's people just paying for long-term care insurance, $500 or $1,000 a month.
All right. We're having our viewers leave now, so perhaps we should too.
Yeah, then that's a good idea to
I can come on again next week, Carl, and discuss this property with another one that I'm going to be listing soon. If you prefer,
that would be a good idea. Let's do that.
That would be great, Carl. Thank you very much.
I'll play around with my video again, and let's do a day where we're just talking elder care, and maybe we can get a couple other people just to have a.
It's been a while since we've done a real estate special, so let's look at that. Thank you, Veronica. Glad to hear you're okay. Before we go though, is there anything we can do for you as a community? Have you got everything you need now?
I do, and I think these are times also to be a little grateful, because you can look and go, wow, I do have a lot to be grateful for, and that's all of you people that care.
Lots of love to you in the Algarve, and lots of love to you and Gizmo and all the rest of the extended family who are staying with you, Carl Hyde in Lisbon. And we'll see some of you next Wednesday.
You absolutely will. Okay.
All right. We'll go out with your other video, Veronica. Thank you both. And thank you as well. You can catch him on Instagram and at Semi Freddy's tonight. Take care and bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Quinta do Fonte Bispo. We're looking at a place that's for sale today that could be a hotel or a elder care facility. I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we walk around the perimeter and get to see some of the facility.
Bom dia, Portugal! In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hey everyone, Algarve B here. Wanted to invite all of you to a night of unfiltered comedy at Semi Freddy's on July 18th. We'll be doing a comedy night there.
If you like Italian food,
and I'll be bringing my no holds barred comedy to you guys' city. So come one, come all.